Ever heard about the phrase facts tell but story sells? If not, then in this video, that is what I'm going to unpack to you regarding how you can deliver your story, or why story is even important as far as your selling is concerned as a business owner. If we haven't met before, my name is Beatrice Yakubu. I'm the founder of Simply Family Business, and I help you with your sales, marketing, and as well as social media. So let's get started with regards to why a story matter as far as your online conversations is concerned, and how that can actually increase your sales. The reason, number one reason, or the three reasons or three factors for storytelling is what I'm going to talk about as far as this video is concerned. And the number one of them is your backstory. Now, in terms of backstory, it is often many business owners find it difficult telling their story. And the reason being that we are brought up to know that, you don't tell people your business, your secrets for that matter. You don't tell people about yourself. And I just want to share actually an example of when I moved from up north to London some years ago. I remember in Doncaster that I lived, it was so open. People were so open to share about themselves, share about their lives. And then so I didn't even think twice about it when I moved out to London, with it being cosmopolitan and a diverse community. I used to think that, people would just meet you and be ready to kind of communicate. But that wasn't the case in terms of, people didn't want to say anything about themselves, which now brings me to this issue of, when we are in the online space, that thing still follows us in the way that we do not want to talk about ourselves. We do not want anybody knowing who we are. We do not want anybody knowing anything about anything intimate or remotely intimate about us. But unfortunately, when you are running a business and in the online space, I often say that, just like you are skeptical when people are speaking online, it's the same thing. People are also skeptical about what you are saying. They don't know you personally. All they are saying or judging you on is with this word that is coming out of you. And that is pretty difficult. And if that word is sounding unauthentic, because the fact is that when you are not sharing things about your life, for example, your communication kind of doesn't sound, authentic. You are just saying facts, i.e. you are saying, for example, in my industry XYZ, but your personality is not showing. And for that reason, people will be skeptical about actually doing business with you. And there's an example of even if you look at the big companies, so like Nike, they hire athletes to kind of put the face or personality into the brand so that it just doesn't look faceless. And for you as a business owner, until you start sharing your story, your business kind of look faceless because people don't know you, and for that reason, they're not gelling with you. And of course, if people don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, as we often say in the social media world, obviously they are not going to be forthcoming with parting with their credit cards to pay you for your services. And that is one reason as sharing your story, especially your backstory, matter. I was chatting with one of my coaching clients the other day about this same issue. And the resistance is always clear when you start talking to people about sharing their stories, because of course they don't want people knowing about their business. And indeed, this is a lady who is so passionate about her industry and why she wants to help other people not to endure like she did and not to face the same challenges like she did previously. But until you bring the backstory in, guess what? People aren't going to know who you are. They're not going to know why does this subject even matter to you? Does it have to do with your child? Did you have to do with yourself? Did it have to do with a family member? These are things that people are looking for. And I just want to urge you, as far as your backstory is concerned, it is pivotal. It is not about saying everything about yourself, because that would sound boring as well, but just making sure that at least people know a little bit about you. I think one of the resistance to this particular area of story sharing is also because people don't want other people to think that they are bragging. In as much as that can sound bragging, if you've ever heard this phrase, and it's common in the online space as well, people will say, "Oh, I'm not saying this to brag." That just kind of a segue into the fact that the person was sharing this so that to impress upon you that wherever they are, you can get there from where you are, because they were there before. So it is imperative that we kind of overlook these difficulties, these challenges, these things that would stop us from actually sharing our stories, and to really authentically share our stories, because that is what moves the needle as far as getting people who are interested in following us is concerned, also getting people who wants to do business with us is concerned. So that's number one about your backstory. The number two is your struggle story. So we call it resistance story. Now, in terms of resistance, there is nothing that anybody have ever achieved in this world. I'm yet to see that person who just woke up and was able to achieve whatever it is that they are enjoying now, whatever it is that they want to call success, that they haven't really struggled for. Even if you think about it, those that wake up one day and they win the lottery, if you ask them, obviously, that wouldn't have been the first day that they have bought a lottery ticket. Some people will buy a lottery ticket for several years before it even become possible for them to win. So I'm yet to see that person who has suddenly become successful without any struggle. Now, are we sharing those struggles? Because that is the crux of the matter. If you look, especially in the online world, if you look at how things are being portrayed, oh, I started this, and then, 20 days later, I am where I am, climbing Mountain Kilimanjaros, traveling around the world because my business has become so successful. Those are difficult stories that you hear, which, yes, it is the stories that people want you to believe as far as whatever they're doing is concerned, the legitimacy of it. But obviously, we want to know what happened in between. And it is Patricia Washington who calls it in the middle. What happened in the middle? How did you get there? You were here, perhaps struggling. How did you just start a business, and that business is blossoming? All the struggles, or most of the struggles, your people need to know. For example, I always say, even the fact of being able to speak on camera and feel comfortable speaking on camera, it wasn't something that I could do easily. I had to practice several times in the mirror to be able to get over the fear of just even speaking onto camera. People need to know what has happened along the line. And the other thing is, especially as a business owner, there are times that you are looking for the sales and it's not coming. There's this lady that I also heard, she was having an interview with Patrice. This is her second interview. Mrs. Lima, I cannot believe that I can't remember her name. It will come to me. Jamie Lima, she is the founder of It Cosmetics. She started this business in her bedroom and, went through so much struggles with rejection. Now sold the business to L'Oreal for over $1 billion. Can you even believe that amount of money, someone just voicing it? I have sold my business for $1 billion. Seriously, that's incredible. But then, obviously, if I'm hearing her say that, that just puts a wall between me and her, because, she's a billionaire and I'm just starting out. How are we even correlating? But until she shares her stories of how she struggled in her bedroom, in her kitchen making these cosmetics, how she'll go to trade shows and get rejected and all those kind of things, that struggle story, that resistance story is what people are listening and looking for, how to be able to get your story to really feel authentic and to get them to endear to you and to get them to, kind of admire the fact that, wow, after all this, you are still standing. And after all this is where you have become. It's just amazing to know that, whatever it is that I am here at this point, having these challenges. I know that with some persistence, I will get there as well. So your resistance story is very, very important. The last but not the least is your transformational story. Now, in terms of the transformation story, it's not necessarily your story. It could be but also your client's transformation story. For example, if you have been able to help someone lose weight, so one of my coaching clients is a weight loss coach. She was able to lose her own weight when I think in her early 40s, everything just ballooned and she didn't know what to do with herself. She took herself from that state to now looking trim, where she's feeling good about herself and also getting all the compliments that comes with having the right shape that you desire. And for that reason, she decided to create a coaching program to help people, especially women in their 40s, for instance, to think carefully or to be able to walk the way she walked to get to where she is. And now she can share her own transformation story. But of course, if she's able to share a story of one of her clients, that is pivotal in getting someone convinced. Because sometimes when you share your own story, people give you put labels on you. For example, they will say, oh, because you are special, or because you are resilient, or because you are talented, or because you are purposely built, whichever way that excuses that we bring about as far as these things are concerned. It is one thing that you need to be able to get people to think otherwise or to think differently, because obviously it's not just about you. For example, she's lost her weight already, whether someone is in a weight or not, or someone agrees with what she did or not, it's now up to them. But of course, as a business owner, your desire, your passion is helping that person to walk the walk and to be able to get to the desired end. And to be able to convince that person is not just your story, but also what other clients have been able to do following your instructions. And so those are the three things that I wanted to discuss about, how powerful a story is in terms of getting people to shift their thinking and to shift their action to be able to get to the desire with your support, with whether it's your coaching or your product or services. So just a recap of them. Number one is to share your backstory, i.e. that is your personal story and how you got to where you are. What got you started in the first place. Number two is the resistance story or the resilient story. Now, in terms of that, you are whatever struggle that you had to go through. And the third one is the transformation. The transformational could be your own transformational story or your client's transformational story. And those are the three things that you should keep at the back of your mind when you are talking in the online space and getting people to buy into your communication so that they can get the results that they desire from you. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, follow my channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that just helps me get to more people. Thank you, and I will come your way once again. Take care. Be blessed. Bye.